Operating in the cannabis industry is challenging for plant touching license operators, technology companies, and ancillary businesses that operate in the cannabis industry. We have our own unique set of rules, regulations, and overcome the stigma of the plant that we must adapt to every single day. It does not matter what sector of the industry you work in. By the end of this video, you will walk away with actionable tips and steps you can take today to bring more streamlined operations into your business. As a high level overview, every successful business needs the following elements within the operational framework. First is documentation of workflows. Next is clarity and accountability for the roles within the organization. And then, of course, training and assessments of on-the-job education that they need to retain. We also know in the cannabis space, we have a high employee turnover. On average, 60% of new employees leave within the first 90 days of joining a new company. And over 85% of employees say that the onboarding process and training could be a lot better when entering a new company. So this tells us alone that focusing on the new employees' first 90 days not only sets your team up for success, but also helps decrease employee turnover, ultimately increasing profit margins. And if you need more help on training your team, then check out this video right here, where I dive into a little bit more about building out your cannabis business team and how to overcome the obstacles of training your team and ensuring they retain that information. So let's dive into dispensaries and the retail environment. My number one tip for dispensaries is to always have tight inventory control. Besides, taxes, inventory will be one of your largest expenses. And having dead inventory just sitting on your shelf is only taking up precious resources. Some people say to hold inventory for 30 days with a 90-day turnaround time for slower moving products. While this is an absolutely great goal to have, it just may not be realistic. This is why I personally suggest a more realistic goal of having about a 3-month inventory turn and a 6-month inventory turn on slower moving inventory items. For the slower moving products, this will give you an opportunity to apply a tiered discount based on the number of days until expiration. So this will be a learning moment for how much or how little your team needs to order for the next round of shipments. But essentially, a rule of thumb here that I suggest is trying to stay within that 3 to 6 month inventory turn. But if you go outside of that, then have a tiered system of discounts based on the expiration date. So if you're 90 days out from expiration, maybe you're going to apply like a 20% discount. 60 days from expiration, maybe it's a 30% discount. And 30 days from expiration, maybe it's a 40% discount. Just try and look at what's going to be best for you and try to implement a tiered system. So that way, by the time that product does expire from your shelves, you're not losing money on what you paid in wholesale costs for that item. In addition, this will help you control your inventory. You don't need to be known as the shop who has it all. When you fall into this trap, you will find a year later you have expired inventory that ultimately costs your shop profits. As for getting your product onto the retail shelves, whether you're transporting yourself or hiring a third-party distributor, it's imperative the onboarding process while working with new partners is as easy as possible. Have a system to get samples to their team, have in-person training, and have all your business records centralized in one place, including like your business licenses, your point of contact, and your marketing materials. And during the transport process, show up on time for your shipment delivery with no mistakes on the manifest, your metric package tags, your inventory count, your labels, or your certificate of analysis or COA test results. Again, make the retailer's life as easy as possible because it's ultimately the retailers that are selling your product. So you want to be good partners to your retailers while you're trying to get your products onto their shelves. And if you're a brand, then show up for in-store events with promotions. Get to know your customers at your retail partners' shops. Even better, Help out your retail partners and continuously audit how they promote your products. Check out their retail menus. Do this often to ensure that your product descriptions, photos, and pricing remain up to date. And try to find ways to make their life easier. I cannot stress this enough. This is how you're getting paid, by the retailers selling your products. So make their life as easy as possible. So whether that's through promotions, supplying marketing materials, doing education to customers, and training for the bud tenders, or even keeping track of their inventory stock so they always have your product on their shelves, find ways to make their daily jobs easier. They will want to keep working with you if you go through the extra steps in supporting their inventory and education needs. And I speak from experience. I used to be a company purchaser of multiple retail locations of a vertically integrated company here in Denver. And I loved working with my partners that made my life easier. Not only did they have higher sales in my stores, but the product never ran out because I had that additional support as a company purchaser from my partners. And if you're a grower, then think about the strategy you want to go after. Do you want to create your own genetics with a story behind the brand, like Huckleberry Hill Farms? Or do you want to grow your own generic varieties that are great for white labeling? Or maybe do you want to grow for resin production for hash? Or maybe do you want to grow strains that produce a high yield to lower operating costs? All of these elements are really important to consider during your business plan development stage and what strategy you want to go after while you're growing different genetics within your cultivation space. And when it comes to technology solutions, please don't oversell your product to gain market share. In the long run, this will only hurt your reputation. If you're going to quote unquote test out a new market with someone's business, it's your responsibility to clearly communicate the features that are lacking in your system where they may not meet compliance or revenue goals due to the obstacles in the platform that is not ready for a new market. So please just be transparent about your market share and if you are truly ready to enter a new state. Really, I could go on about this, which is why I created this video right here. So go check that out. And finally, ancillary providers, where you're a consultant or CPA, legal, or any other ancillary business, do not oversell your businesses. Do not oversell your services. Niche down. We can't be experts in all areas in the industry in every single state. Find your lane, stick to it, and don't fraud people. If you want to expand and try something new, that's great. But be sure to communicate this in your first project within a new area or in an area that you're not 100% confident on. Maybe you hire outside help to gain the confidence in the project, or maybe you even take on that project at no cost to the client to gain that experience needed to confidently execute on that new cannabis project. So for an example, if you're a CPA and you're an expert on tax compliance, then do not label yourself as an expert in compliance operations or metric compliance or inventory control. Yes, those elements are included around tax collection. However, that does not make you an expert in those areas. So be very mindful on how you're marketing yourself and what you truly specialize in within the industry. And did you find this helpful? Then consider subscribing to my YouTube channel or signing up for my compliance newsletter, where you receive operations, compliance, and technology tips delivered straight to your email every week. Just click the link below to sign up and receive your weekly emails starting tomorrow. I hope you have a good one, and I hope to see you on the other side.